Have you ever felt invisible? Like no one would notice if you disappeared? Hi, I'm Nora, the quiet girl in the back row who never raised her hand, never fought back, and never believed she could. But everything changed the day I finally stood up for myself. Welcome back to Melika Stories. Stay till the end, because this might be the story that reminds you of your own strength. For as long as I can remember, I hated the sound of laughter, not because it was bad, but because it was always at me. Tyler and his friends thought I was their favorite joke. My silence was their permission. Every day I told myself, just ignore it, Nora. It'll stop someday. But it never did. My only safe place was the library, where Grace waited with her warm smile and quiet voice. They don't define you, she'd whisper, but words were easy to say when you weren't the one being laughed at. Then one afternoon, our English teacher, Mrs. Carter, gave us an assignment. Write about the moment that changed your life. I stared at the blank page. I had no moment, my life was just surviving. That night I saw Ben, the new student, standing up to Tyler in the hallway. He didn't yell, he didn't fight. He just said calmly, "You don't get to decide who matters." Everyone went silent. That simple sentence echoed in my mind all night. Maybe I could say something too. Maybe I didn't have to stay quiet forever. The next morning, I looked in the mirror and whispered, "Not today." It was the first time my reflection looked back at me with a little bit of courage. Hey, if Nora's story's already making you feel something, don't forget to hit subscribe and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep sharing more stories like this. And tell me in the comments, have you ever stood up for yourself? That day in English class, Tyler decided to test me again. He grabbed my notebook, flipped through my pages, and smirked. "Still writing those sad little poems, Nora?" he said loudly. The class laughed. My hands shook. My heart begged me to stay quiet, but I remembered Ben's words echoing inside me. "You don't get to decide who matters." I stood up. "Give it back," I said. My voice trembled, but it was louder than my fear. Tyler froze, shocked. "What did you say?" he sneered. I said, "Give it back." For a second, I thought he'd laugh again, but he didn't. He just stared, like he'd seen me for the first time. Then Mrs. Carter walked in. She looked at me, really looked at me, and smiled faintly before asking him to sit down. After class, Grace hugged me so tight I could barely breathe. "I'm so proud of you," she said. My heart raced, but for the first time, it wasn't from fear. It was from relief. I had finally done it. I had stood up. The next few days felt strange. People didn't whisper when I passed. Some even smiled. Tyler avoided my eyes. I wasn't invisible anymore. Not because I became popular, but because I finally existed in my own story. Mrs. Carter called me after class one day. "Nora," she said softly, "that moment you wrote about? It's powerful. Keep writing. Your voice matters." Her words hit me harder than any insult ever had. I realized strength wasn't about shouting louder than others. It was about refusing to stay silent when your heart was begging you to speak. At lunch, Ben sat across from me and smiled. "Told you it works," he said. I laughed for real this time. Not the quiet, hidden kind, but one that filled the space around me. That afternoon, I walked past the mirror again. This time, the girl staring back at me wasn't afraid. She was free. Because courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's just a whisper that says, "Today, I choose myself." Thank you so much for watching Melika Stories. If Nora's journey inspired you, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. Someone out there might need this story today. And of course, hit subscribe so you never miss our next inspiring episode. Remember, your voice matters, always.